All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Tonight, we're going to be talking about the 3-2 Atlanta Falcons coming off a 21-19 home victory. Mr. Desmond Ridder, the Atlanta Falcons defense, the Atlanta Falcons offense, everything came through in that fourth quarter, especially late in that game, and they rattle off the victory. Less than 2 minutes to go, final drive, Desmond Ridder, forget about it, man. 28-37, 329 yards, and a touchdown. The pass protection was looking great. The rushing attack was a little bit slow. There is still things I'm not perfect with, right? But I love the tenacity of this football team. And first off, the defense is so much better than people give them credit for. Even just 5 games into the season, I still don't think like mainstream NFL media is fully aware of like not only the offensive or like the off season that the Falcons did. Everyone's so focused on the offense. Everybody's so focused on Ridder and, nitpicking, oh, is he the guy? Is he the guy? Keep in mind, the dude's barely played in the National Football League. This was a phenomenal game from him, but people don't realize how good that defense actually is. There's a lot of new faces on that team. You bring in some veterans, guys like Jesse Bates III getting things going off in his first career Falcons game week 1. But then you've also got really intriguing young talent. This team's just littered with a very bright future. And I got to say, like I said, the first 3 quarters weren't perfect. It's not going to be perfect. I still think the Atlanta Falcons go 10-7. I still think they go 10-7. I think it's going to come down to Tampa Bay, but we'll deal with that when it comes. I just hate that this Falcons team, everybody just loves to rag on Ridder. And keep in mind, man, especially with the condensed preseason, your offensive line just takes time. Like if I don't have time to throw the ball, week 1, week 2, week 3, I don't have time on the offensive line. They're still trying to find their chemistry. They're still trying to find their rhythm. These things take at least a month. And I think from here on out for the rest of the regular season, that offensive line is only going to improve. But my point is, if I don't have time to throw the ball, I have to use checkdowns. I have to keep it behind the line of scrimmage to not turn the ball over. So that playbook's opening it up. We saw a lot of trick plays. I love Arthur Smith. I'm very excited about Ridder. Obviously, love my guy, Bijan Robinson. Kyle Pitts had himself a night. We're going to talk about all this in today's video. But before we do, if you guys enjoy it, be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content. Falcons fans, if we try and get this video to 250 likes, that would mean the absolute world to me. So, just once again, like heading into this season, Atlanta did a decent job, all things considered, last year. And people just weren't really aware of the new talent and the existing talent on this roster. I also think Arthur Smith learned a lot in his first couple of years as the head coach for this team. By the end of the season, I think offensively, first off, we'll have our answers. Desmond Ridder, the guy, we'll have that answer for sure. Playoff run, it's certainly not out of the equation. Like I said, I still think this team finishes 10-7. The Texans are a really, really solid roster. They are a really solid team. They play extremely hard. I saw a lot of respect going from Falcons fans, from Texans fans. That was just a good game, especially in the fourth quarter. That Falcons defense, man, I got to shout them out for keeping them in that game the entire game. I mean, they only gave up field goals all the way until the fourth quarter, pretty much until like the 2-minute warning. That was the first touchdown they'd given up. It's a marathon. It is not a sprint. Some things I absolutely loved from this past game was my man, Kyle Pitts. I love my Florida Gators. He's gotten so much disrespect, and some of it is definitely for a good reason. The dude was slipping and slopping like a slippery fish for the first couple of games. He had one hell of a bounce back game, 7 catches, 87 yards. Folks, if you've given up on Kyle Pitts, you've made a very big mistake. Whenever I saw should trade Kyle Pitts, the Falcons should trade Kyle Pitts, I'm sitting here thinking to myself, what on earth has this become? What? Desmond Ridder, more time being protected. Find your guys. Who are my guys offensively outside of like Bijan Robinson, Tyler Algier? Well, I'll tell you, it's Kyle Pitts and it's Drake London. Those are my 2 playmakers. Those are the guys I want the ball in their hands. And that is exactly what we saw yesterday afternoon. Kyle Pitts, 7 catches, 87 yards, including some big time catches. Drake London. I mean, Drake London's a star. 6 catches, 78 yards. I don't like that's a really good stat line. Every wide receiver in the league would take a stat line like that. I think his impact and his talent just isn't appreciated because, it's the Atlanta Falcons and people are watching, the Cowgirls and the Chiefs, et cetera, et cetera. When you see this dude play, I mean, that catch, what was it, in the fourth quarter? I mean, the dude can freaking play, especially that left-handed throw, 101, 22 yards for Drake London. Never thought I would say that. I love Arthur Smith's creativity. I love his versatility. And when you have playmakers like Drake London, Kyle Pitts, Bijan Robinson, Tyler Algier, you got to get the ball in their hands. So the rush game, which is one of Atlanta's strongest suits, just didn't get going against the Houston Texans. 36 total rushes, 96 yards, 2.7 yards per carry. Just not a good day. Bijan Robinson, 14 carries, 46 yards, including that fumble, which was just weird. He's a rookie. These things are going to happen. You're going to have games where you can't run the ball. You're going to have games where you can't throw the ball. Look, if I told you heading into this game, if I told a Falcons fan, if I told an NFL fan, the Atlanta Falcons against the Houston Texans would rush 36 times for 96 yards, averaging 2.7 yards per carry, who won? You'd probably tell me the Houston Texans. Well, that did not stop this Atlanta Falcons team from dominating the trenches, both offensively and defensively. They controlled the time of possession, 35 minutes to just 24 and a half minutes over on Houston's standpoint. But once again, man, this defense, they are so much better than people give them credit for. And I want to say real quick before we get into the defense offensively, like just third down conversions, especially in the first half, all the way until like pretty much the end of the game, Atlanta was 6 of 6 in the second half on third down conversions. And that's going to go a long way because, 21 points isn't going to get the job done against some of these big powerhouse teams. But if that defense keeps playing the way they're playing and your offense continues to improve, those touchdowns are going to start to come. So defensively, CJ Stroud, I don't even want to hear the comments, it's CJ Stroud, it's a rookie. First off, I think CJ Stroud's going to be one hell of a talent. I think the dude is already kind of an established rookie star in the National Football League. Obviously, he was selected number 2, but defensively, it's just such a good team effort. I love a lot of these new additions, even like Jeff Okudah. A lot of Lions fans not necessarily wanting to give up on him when he got traded, but it was kind of just a new, fresh change of scenery. Had a lot of Falcons fans thinking, I think that's going to benefit him, and it did, especially yesterday. Caden Ellis, Jesse Bates III, Calais Campbell did get banged up, but when we talk about the young talent on this defense, I look at 2 guys specifically on my secondary. Richie Grant. Richie Grant, Falcons fans are fully aware that Richie Grant is a rising young talent in this league. And then we also have to look at AJ Terrell. AJ Terrell is one of those players I think people won't really notice until you play him. And I think it comes down to fantasy football purposes. Like, for example, I had Nico Collins. Everyone in the comment section on Yahoo, yes, I check Yahoo fantasy chat when my players aren't doing well. Everyone's like, he's on Terrell Island. And I just think that's kind of indicative of how this Falcons team is. It's just a lot of talent that people aren't quite aware of. They're young talent. They're going to make mistakes. You're going to have Bijan Robinson fumbles. You're going to make Ritter's going to throw interceptions. But when you play the way the offense did in the first 3 quarters, and you come away with the victory, I mean, hats off to you. A win is a win. Nobody's going to be looking back. If the Falcons go 10-7, make the playoffs, whether you win the South or not, nobody's going to be looking back at this Houston game and being like, oh, man, I wish we won that game 42-19 instead of 21-19. Take the win, and I know Falcons fans are happy with that win. So thank you guys for watching. Hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content. If you want more Falcons videos, let me know down below. But either way, I'm going to still post a couple videos a week. Guys, give me a confidence rating on this Atlanta Falcons team. 1 being not very confident, 10 being ecstatic. Thank you for watching. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you next.